Hey you all, I'm also here to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial, and on this one I'll be taking you through the making of this gorgeous dress you can see on your screen. It comes with a symmetric built-up neckline, a princess bustier, a basic sleeve, and we have the knife pleats that makes up the gown length from the half length. So if you're interested in learning the pattern drafting, the cutting and the sewing of this gorgeous dress, definitely watch to the end, and without further ado, let's get to it. So on your pattern paper, you're going to leave a space of about 4 inches before you mark your shoulder line. Then from your shoulder line, you're going to measure down to your bust point line, to your under bust line, then to your waist line. Now on the shoulder line, I'll mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll go down to my chest line, and on the chest line again, I'll mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. And on this point again, I'm going to mark my chest line just so I have a straight line. That's why I'm marking it at these several points. I'm going to use my ruler to rule it out like this. Then I'm going to mark my standard neck width of 3 inches. Once I mark it, I'm going to come down here to 1.5 and connect from this 1.5 to the 3 inches neck width, and that's my shoulder slope. The next thing I'll do now is to measure from this shoulder slope to the chest line, get the midpoint here, and then on that point I'll go into half inch, then come to the chest line and take my bust measurement divided by 4. I'm now going to use these 3 points to cover the armhole, and doing that, this is what it's looking like. The next thing we'll be doing now is to mark the bust span. That's the nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'm going to mark it on the bust point line and also on the waistline, then use my straight ruler to connect the 2 points. Now for the dart intake, I'll be doing 0.75 on both sides of the bust span line on the waistline. Then on the under bust, I'll be doing 1.75. That is 1.5 dart intake on the waistline, 1.75 on the under bust. And you can even decide to take your waist dart all the way to your under bust and use that too as your under bust tightening. But I decided to do 1.75 against the 1.5 I used as my waist dart. I'm going to connect the dart like you see me do it and curve this part that I need to curve out. Then I'm going to start from this shoulder slope and come down to about 4 inches. That's exactly where I want my princess seam to sit. So once I have it, I'm going to place my ruler like this and curve it from that 4 inches to meet the bust span on the bust point line, and it's looking like this. Next, I'm going to start from this curve now and go out to 1 inch, just 1 inch for me. Then I'm going to measure from here to here, just this exact way you see me doing it. Once I measure it, the same value, I'm going to hold it down on this line, then tilt my measuring tape until I have that same value on this 1 inch I came out here. Then I'm going to place my curve like this and curve it to meet this 1 inch we came out on this point. And then of course recurve the armhole because this is the one we'll be working with now. I'll clean up the initial one so that we know clearly the one we are going with, so that we don't make any mistake with that. Next, I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4 plus the 1.5 that intake. Then I'm going to connect from the waist measurement to the bust measurement. Then I'm going to come down here to 1.5. That is my bust dart value. That's the difference between my front length and the back length. The next thing we'll be doing now is to work on the neckline, and I'm going to be using the protractor that I have on my ruler to get the angle 90 of the neckline. I'm going to place it this exact way you can see me place it, and if you don't have my exact ruler, you can find this protractor on your straight ruler or the multi-purpose one that I'm using or the curve you can see laying on my table. All of that comes with the protractor, so place it in a way that you are going to be marking the angle 90 going to this same direction you see mine. Basically place it in a way that the 90 is going to the same direction, then you rule it out. And then on this new line now, from the neck width, you'll be going up to 2 inches or 2.5 depending on how high you want your built up neckline to be. But we'll be talking more about the neckline because you're supposed to be cutting this on fold, especially the center front pattern. So yeah, we are going to keep that aside now, then work on the back pattern, and later I'll transfer all that I have on the front pattern to a folded paper so that we work with it better. Do you understand? So on the back pattern, I'll get the shoulder measurement divided by 2, then go down to the chest line and mark both the shoulder measurement and the chest line on the 2 parts that I need it, and then go ahead and read out. Then I'll mark my standard neck width of 3 inches, come down here to 1 inch to slope the shoulder, and connect from the shoulder slope to the neck width like this. The next thing now is to tighten the center back, the most basic way to go about it. I'll come in half inch, then place my ruler like this and connect it all the way to the shoulder line like this, and take it from that waistline downward like this, because the back pattern won't be coming with a waist joining, so you have from your shoulder to your hip line as your half length. Yeah, So I will now start from this new contour line and take the bust measurement divided by 4 on the chest line, on the waistline, the waist measurement divided by 4, and on the hip line, the hip measurement divided by 4. There is no that intake visible on the back pattern, so we are also not going to be adding any dart, except you want to, feel free to add your dart. Yeah. After that, after marking your side measurement, you're going to be connecting them. Then I'm going to get the midpoint of this line. Once I have it, I'm going to be curving the armhole from that point to my bust straight, just like this. The next thing we'll do now is to follow this contour line and add our zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'm going to mark it on the hip line, on the waistline, and on this neckline or neck depth, and then or on the shoulder, and take it just so it looks like we contour the center back initially. Now I'm going to be getting the angle 90 of the neckline too for the back. I will mark it, then go ahead and use my ruler to mark it out like this. And then the next thing you do is on this line you go up to about 2.5, or better still, you start from the neck or shoulder line and go up to how high you want it to be. And I recommend you do about 1.5. I did 2 inches, but I recommend 1.5 so that it won't be too high. Then once I mark it, I'm going to come down here to about half inch, and then I'm going to be using my ruler to just blend it in the same way you usually curve your neckline, yeah, except that this is too small that you have to also work with it like that. Then I'm going to blend in the shoulder line so that it will be easy for us to join it later. That's the shoulder line of the front and the back. And that's pretty much about it. You're going to be cutting this out, and after cutting the back pattern out, we'll keep that aside and then go ahead and work with the front pattern. And for the front pattern, I'll simply go ahead and trace it out like I said earlier on a folded paper, and you will see that I focused just on the center front because that's where you need the paper to be folded. You don't have to waste your paper if you don't want to like make it a full fold. Do you understand? So yeah, I'm going to open up the waist dart this way so I can be able to close the bust dart like you see me do it. And like I said, I'm working with a single paper on the side, then the center is folded. Then I'm going to blend in the side seam and go ahead and cut out the rest of the pattern out like you see me do it here. So yeah, we are just basically cutting this side, and then we're going to be working with the neckline of the front before we cut the center front. So I'm going to be making sure I highlight all these vital lines for it to reflect on this other side of the paper. Use my tracing wheel when necessary, then mark it out with my pencil and ruler. And now on this part, I'll be going down to my neck depth. I use about 6 inches, and I wish I used 7 inches or even 7.5 because I, anyway, you're going down to your desired neck depth on this point. Then on that neck depth, you'll be coming into 2.5 or 2 inches, depending on how much you want your neckline to be going to the side. Do you understand? And then we are going to be getting the angle 90 of the neckline now on both sides of the neckline. We now have two sides. So I'll get the angle 90 on this one, then mark it out, then go ahead and also get the angle 90 of this other side of the neckline. Do you understand? So marking them out, this is what the both of them is looking like. Now I'm going to be going up here to how high I want the neckline to be, and I'm using about 1.75. Remember I said I used 2 inches on the back, so that was a mistake which I later corrected. Or better still, start from here and go up to about 2 inches or 2.5, and you see that whatever that 2.5 also falls to the 1.75 I'm using as the highness. Do you understand? Label this left and right like you see me do it here, and then we have our neck depth going to the right hand side. Now I'm going to be connecting from the neck width or the highness I have on this left side of the neckline to the neck depth I have on the right hand side. And then this is how I'm going about it in this initial time. Yeah, I later made it, lower than what I have here because after connecting this one and connecting the other side, it was quite small. So we are going to connect from the highness we have on the right hand side to the neck depth we have on the right hand side too. And yeah, I say that this was quite small, so I would need to clean it off and do it the proper way. So what I'm going to do now is to start from this shoulder line and come down to about 3 inches so that this neckline won't be choking. So I now have 3 inches neck depth as a guide on this center part of the paper. I'm now going to place my curve like this and curve it to that 3 inches, then place my curve again like this and curve from that 3 inches to the neck width or the highness of the neckline that you're working with. And yeah, this looks better. Next, I'm going to be blending in the shoulder seam like you see me do it here. I'll repeat the same thing on this other side so that when you're joining it to the back, it will just be seamless. Then once I'm done with that, I'm going to be measuring the shoulder line. I'll measure these two sides, then bring in my back pattern and measure that too, so that I know if there is any excess or any shortage anywhere. And that's what you're also going to do when you're transferring to the fabric or after transferring to the fabric. Then I'm going to be cutting the neckline out, and after cutting it out, this is what it's looking like. And placing the side front side by side like this is what we have. Then I'll bring in the back pattern and match up the side front and the side back like this from the waistline upwards. Then I needed to take out this excess I have here on the armhole of the back pattern. So I'll just take it out like you see me do it here, and after that we'll be transferring this to the fabric. So I worked with this fabric, and for this you will need about 2.5 to 3 yards, since it just, let's just say you need 3 yards for this, yeah, depending on your size. So I have this material, I think they call this raw silk. I got it as a lining anyway, and I've gone ahead to transfer the patterns to the fabric. I marked my side seam allowance of 1.5. Then on the center back, we already have the zipper allowance. I'll just be adding my stitching allowance on the shoulder line, and on the neckline you can decide to add allowance or not. So after doing that, I'm going to repeat the same thing here, adding my joining allowance on this side, or every other part I need to add joining allowance. Then on this one, on the side seam, I have my 1.5 side seam allowance. And then on this part that I will be joining to the center, I will add my 1/2 inch allowance. And after that, notch the under bust line, very important. Then I'm going to cut the shoulder so that I have the same allowance on both sides, and open up the pattern like this. Place the pattern on the fabric like this, pin it down, then I'll go ahead and cut the symmetric neckline. And of course, you'll be adding your allowance. And once I'm done with that, the next thing we'll be working with is the skirt, the front skirt, or the one that makes up the half length for the front. Yeah, so you're using from your waistline to your hip line. Go ahead and minus from your shoulder to your waistline, then you mark it out like this, and this line will be the waistline. So I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4 here, plus the 1.5 side seam allowance that you're working with, and then on the hip line I'm going to be doing the hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1/2 inch, then plus the 1.5 side seam allowance you're working with. I recommend that you add that 1/2 inch easy allowance on the hip line before adding your side seam, because it's not supposed to be close fitted on the hip line. You should have some ease there. But that basically it about the skirt. It's very simple and straightforward. You're going to cut it out, then cut the lining. I'll be cutting my lining because this fabric is too lightweight, so I need lining to support it. But if you're using a fabric that is not too lightweight, go ahead and leave it like you just cut them out. So yeah, the next thing now is to just cut the sleeve, and the sleeve is just a basic sleeve. The whole length I worked with here is about 8 inches, and this 8 inches will be both the joining allowance will be joining to the armhole, and the one we'll be using to turn it with the lining on the down part. And at the end of the day, I would have about 6.5 as my sleeve length, or 7 inches. So I'll come down here to about 3.5, then curve the sleeve like you see me do it here. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to come to the sleeve length and mark my round sleeve on that point divided by 2 plus 1/2 inch, then plus 1 inch. In total, I added 1.5 allowance to my round sleeve circumference on that point. Now I'll connect it like this. The other 1/2 inch is for ease so that it won't be too tight. And then you're going to measure this. Go back to your pattern and measure your armhole to make sure that you're working with the accurate measurement. And if you're sure, go ahead and cut it out like you see me doing it here. And that's pretty much about it for the sleeve. I'll go ahead and cut the second one, cut the lining, and then you're going to put all your pieces together, because in the next one, you will be putting all of these pieces together, and I'll also be sharing with you how to go about the calculation for your knife pleats. I hope I see you on my next one.